Assalamu alaikum. Hello, welcome to Health Science Unit 5, Lesson 1, Disease Prevention. Today we will be covering Lesson 5.1, the causes of disease and illness. Make sure you have workbook and be ready, and let's get started. First, it have look as a learning outcomes. Learning outcomes by the end of this lesson. Learners will be able to identify the causes of disease and illness. Okay, now let's have a look at the keywords that you will learn through the lesson. First, we have disease, which is a medical condition that stops a person's body from working normally. Okay, first we have disease. A disease is a medical condition that stops a person's body from working normally. Example, diabetes. Okay, or heart disease. Next, we have illness, which is a disease or a period of sickness affecting the body. Illness, which have a disease or a period of sickness affecting the body. Then we have prevention, which is to stop something from happening. Think about how exercising you can stop heart disease if, for example, from happening. Prevention meaning to stop something from happening. Think about how exercising you can stop heart disease is, for example, from happening. The next keywords will be infectious, and this is of being easily spread to other people. Think about COVID-19 and how can be easily spread from one person to another. Clear? The next keyword is communicable disease. Communicable is an infectious disease that can be passed from one person to another. So it's actually close to the previous definition, previous keywords. So which mean communicable disease, it can be spread or passed from one person to another, either directly or indirectly. Clear? Clear?
Yes.
Clear.
The last keywords will be bacteria and parasites, extremely small particles that cause disease or illness. And remember that why we should wash our hands with soap and water. Why? Who can answer for my question? Why we should wash our hands? Why we should our hands with soap and water. Who can answer for my question? Who can answer?
Me, teacher.
Here it is.
To stop the virus from communicable to another's.
Excellent, Ibrahim. So remember that why we should wash our hands with soap and water to limit the bacteria that are actually found everywhere. Clear? Clear? So we have introduction to disease and illness. There are lots of reasons that a person can develop an illness or disease. Some of these reasons are preventable and some are not. These are called modifiable and non-modifiable risk factors. During this unit, you will explore the modifiable risk factors for disease, and then you will identify how personal health behaviors such as a diet and physical activity and adequate sleep can have an impact on physical and mental and emotional and social health. You will also learn the importance of immunization and health screening for disease prevention. So, what are disease or illness? Now we are gonna discuss what is a disease or illness. Let's look at what is a disease or prevention, or in the other word, how can we stop or prevent a disease from happening? My question is, what are a disease?
I know the answer, teacher.
Okay. What are a disease or illness?
It's a medical condition that
Be
stop.
patient, Ibrahim. Be patient, Ibrahim. What
What?
are disease? Be patient. What are a disease or illness?
It's
Or
a condition
or
that's
or how can we stop or prevent disease from happening? Here, Ibrahim.
first the disease or an illness. It's a medical condition that stop the person's body from working or the part of condition not working well, and we can stop it by washing our hands with water and soap, and and there and there is a lot of ways that the virus or the disease can spread. It looks like touching something dirty or not cleaning.
Excellent, Ibrahim. Concentrate with me, all of you. What are disease or illness? A disease or illness is a medical condition that stops a person's body from working normally. Now there are many reasons why people might develop a disease, for example, genetics, environmental factors, or lifestyle. disease prevention. My question is, how can we stop or prevent a disease from happening? How can we stop or prevent disease or prevent disease from happening? Of course, this can happen only by knowing some of the things that causes a disease, and also taking some steps such as having a healthy lifestyle. Like what? Like exercising and having good healthy diet. Okay? Disease prevention. This can happen only by knowing the causes of disease, also taking some steps such as having a healthy lifestyle. Like what? Like what? Who can answer?
Exercising.
A healthy diet.
Exercising. Excellent. And having a healthy diet. Excellent, Abdurrahman. Number 2, having good hygiene. Think about when you wash your hands continuously, so we can prevent disease that we actually caused by bacteria and virus that we can catch everywhere. Clear? Having good hygiene. Think about when you wash your hands continuously, so we can prevent disease that are actually caused by bacteria and virus that we can catch everywhere. The last one is having regular medical checkups. This can help or diagnose a disease an early stage, or make sure or that are no disease at all. Clear? Repeat. Disease prevention. My question is, how can we stop or prevent disease from happening? My answer is, of course, this can happen only by knowing some of causes of disease. It's also taking some steps, such as having a healthy lifestyle. Like what? Like exercising, and what? Having good healthy diet. Number 2, having good hygiene. Having good hygiene, think about when you wash your hands continuously, so we can prevent disease that we actually caused by bacteria and virus that we can catch everywhere. The last one is having regular medical checkups. This can help diagnose disease an early stage, or make sure or that are no disease at all. Clear? As we have just said, we cannot prevent a disease without knowing the causes. The causes of disease can be split into 2 categories. As we have just said, we cannot prevent a disease without knowing the causes. The causes of disease can be split into 2 categories. The first one, Disease caused by what? Disease caused by what? Disease caused by what?
Caused
bacteria.
by bacteria
Bacteria and what?
and viruses
And what?
parasites.
Parasites, which enter a person's body and make them sick. The first one, disease caused by bacteria and virus and parasites, which enter a person's body and make them sick. Clear? Think about COVID-19. Think about COVID-19. This is the most common disease nowadays, and how it can be caused by a virus called what? Called coronavirus. يبقى the first category, disease caused by what? Bacteria and virus and parasites, which enter a person's body and make them sick. For example, think about COVID-19. COVID-19. This is the most common disease nowadays, and how it can be caused by what? By virus called coronavirus. The second category, this about disease caused by a person's lifestyle choices and the environment they live in or the family history. What about that? Disease caused by a person's lifestyle choices. For example, smoking. Lifestyle choices like smoking or drinking alcohol. It can lead some disease. Then we have the environment. The environment, for example, pollution. Pollution, how it can lead to some respiratory disease. And the last one, family history. Family history such as diabetes. Now we have just said we cannot prevent a disease without knowing the causes of disease. It can be split into two categories. First, disease caused by bacteria and virus and parasites which enter a person's body and make them sick. Like what? Think about COVID-19, the most common disease nowadays, and how it can be caused by a virus called coronavirus. The second category is disease caused by a person's lifestyle choices and the environment they live in or their family history. What about lifestyle choices like smoking or drinking alcohol? That it can lead some a disease. Then we have the environment like pollution. Pollution, how it can lead to some respiratory disease. And the last one, family history like diabetes. Clear? Clear?
Clear.
Clear.
Now let's have a look communicable disease. Basically, those are the disease is communicable disease. Are caused by what? Communicable disease are caused by what? Communicable disease. Answer. Communicable
Caused
disease.
by a virus and bacteria and
Parasites.
parasites.
Communicable disease are caused by virus, bacteria, and parasites, which can be passed or spread from one person to another. And they can be spread through contact with infected person, through contaminated food or drink, through insect bites or the air. Now we have infected person. Infected person like what? Infected person like what?
COVID-19.
COVID-19. If you in touch or contact with a person who's positive to COVID-19 test, you may have these as well. Okay? Also, through contaminated food. Through contaminated food. Think about the most common bacteria that causes digestive buttons, which is called E. coli. Also, we have the insect bites. We have the insect bites that can lead to the spread of a disease like malaria. And finally, the air. Now we have communicable disease. What are communicable disease, Abdulrahman?
A communicable disease is a disease that can be passed from one person to another.
Excellent, Abdulrahman. So, most factors for communicable by modifiable. Why modifiable? Who can answer? So, the most risk factors for communicable disease are modifiable. Why modifiable? Who can answer? Okay, we mean something that we have control or that can you change. For example, you can change it by what? First, practicing good personal hygiene. Practicing a good personal hygiene. Think about the hand washing and how it can be keep you away from a bacteria and virus. Number two, then we have cleaning and disinfecting shared area. For example, in the area in COVID-19, we keep disinfecting the shared area to prevent the indirect transmission of the bacteria and virus. And finally, we have staying a safe distance from people who are sick. Clear?
Clear.
So now let's have a look non-communicable disease. Who can tell me what is non-communicable disease mean?
I can answer it, teacher.
Here, Ibrahim.
The non-communicable disease, it's a disease that can't be spread from another,
Can be or cannot be.
cannot be
Excellent,
spread
Ibrahim.
to others.
Excellent. Cannot be spread from one person to another. So, non-communicable disease is the opposite of who can answer? Non-communicable disease. Mustafa. Is the opposite of non-communicable disease. Is the opposite of
Communicable disease.
communicable disease, which mean you cannot get one of these diseases from another person. They are usually caused by having an unhealthy lifestyle and living in an unhealthy environment or genetics or family history. Actually, they can be caused by having what? Abdurrahman.
What is the question, Mustafa?
My question, they can be caused, non-communicable disease, they can be caused by what?
Your lifestyle and your genes can be passed from your family.
Okay. An unhealthy lifestyle and
Living in an unhealthy environment or family history.
or family history or genetics. Now let's have a look. We have at first, the first is cardiovascular disease. Cardiovascular disease.
صباح
Now,
الخير يا أستاذ محمد.
صباح النور يا أستاذ محمد.
ازاي الاحوال؟
الحمد لله تمام يا استاذ.
نسبة الحضور عندك قد ايه يا استاذ احمد؟ في 8 حاضرين الحصة.
تسعة حاضرين يا استاذ محمد.
9 في غياب كام تقريبا؟ 3 ولا كام؟
3.
تمام ماشي يا استاذ.
عفوا يا استاذ محمد. Now let's have a look at the most common non-communicable disease. Non-communicable disease are first cardiovascular disease, are also called what? Heart disease. Clear? Then we have cancer. Or all type of cancer. Then we have respiratory disease. Respiratory disease like what, Abdurrahman?
COVID-19 or asthma.
Or asthma. We studied in the previous term. Okay? And diabetes. We have 2 types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2, and both leads to higher blood pressure. As you can see, none of these diseases can be spread from one person to another, yet they can be prevented by lead in a healthy lifestyle and exercising more. Thank you all of you. Any person who have question?
No.
Thank you.